This is the Easy Betting Show. I am Easy, and we are back early as hell, at least for me, talking about the MLB. I was going to do it last night, but a lot of the odds weren't out yet, so we're doing it this morning instead. That might be the future moving on. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm going to debate whether to do it, just continue doing it in the morning or to do it the night before like I had planned. Some of it depends on the odds, but for those of you that watch me regularly or want to watch me live specifically, let me know in the comments or in the comments after the video or on Twitter, whatever, what your preference would be if you have one. That would help me out a little bit. So yeah, that's why we're doing it in the morning. The odds just weren't up yet, and I wanted to have the odds on the show. Pretty much as simple as that. Talking MLB today in this one, as I'm sure you can see because it's all over the place. For today's games, going to do the exact same thing I did last time. I got some team plays I'm going to give out. I got some player props I'm going to give out. And then at the end, I have a couple graphics for my home run stuff, which did pretty well last time. I went 3 of 8. You know, obviously we didn't hit the parlay, which would have been nice, clearly, but 3 of 8, still pretty good. Pretty much set you up for the rest of the day. My actual props weren't great, so hopefully we can turn that around a little bit today. So I'm just going to get right into it because I know y'all don't want to listen to me yap for 20 minutes. So I'm just going to get right into the plays. The first one that I like is Yankees minus 1.5. That's plus 134. So I'm going to throw a unit on that one. They got Max Fried going today. This is going to be his first time pitching for a team that is in Atlanta. So, you know, I think he's going to want to produce. He always wants to produce anyway, so that's not really saying much. But being in New York for the first time after landing that massive contract, you know, I think it's going to be a little bit extra for him. Now, granted, that could bring some nerves with it. You know, you've seen him in the postseason before. When nerves get involved, he kind of has a tendency to fall off a little bit. So I do expect him to walk a couple of guys, probably give up a couple of hits he probably normally wouldn't give up. But I do think he'll still have a relatively good day. The main reason I'm taking the Yankees, though, is because Nestor Cortez is pitching on the other side. And, you know, as I'm sure you know, he used to be a Yankee. And Cortez relies on a lot of disruption and gimmicks when he pitches. And who's going to know that better than the team he used to play for? You know, so when he can't disrupt the timing of the hitter, he struggles pretty badly, as we saw in the playoffs last year. So I think the Yankees are going to have a really good opportunity to get a hold of him early and get that bullpen going. And then they just kind of cruise from there, especially if Fried is on it today, which, like I said, I don't think he's going to be like on it, but I think he's going to have a fairly good day. So Yankees minus 1.5 at plus money, in my opinion, is a great bet. You could also lean minus 2.5 because the odds on that are pretty good, but the safe one is obviously minus 1.5. The next one I'm going to do is Blue Jays money line. I'm going back to that minus 120, so 1.2 units on that one. They got obliterated in the first game, and then they crushed the Orioles in the second game. This is a really weird series, and yeah, this is the rubber game now, obviously, but it's super weird to just have 2 blowouts on the other sides back to back like that. The pitching matchup in this one is Max Scherzer is going to be on the mound for the Blue Jays, another pitcher going for a new team. And he's going against Dean Kremer. I don't know if that's how you say his name or not, but that's how I say his name. It could be Kramer. I don't know. I say Kremer because I like it. Sounds fancy. Obviously, Scherzer is better than Kremer, but the Blue Jays also hit Kremer pretty well in his career against him, especially Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero, and George Springer. Really the 3 big guys for the Blue Jays all love to hit on him. So, you know, with them being able to hopefully get to him early, as well as Scherzer being on the other side, I just think this is a game that the Blue Jays take. In that same game, I'm going to go Vladimir Guerrero 2+ bases. That's minus 110, so 1.1 unit on that. I'm also taking Vladimir to get an RBI at plus 165, so I'm throwing a unit on that as well. So 2+ bases and an RBI. And the reason I'm doing this is because on top of hitting well yesterday with a double and a single, he's also going against Dean Kremer, like I said, and he hits him really well in his career. He hits him at a 357 with 5 home runs and 2 doubles. So he's a guy that he sees really well. He had a good day yesterday that could leak into today. So also have him for a home run, which we'll see in a little bit. Next guy is Marcell Ozuna, 2+ bases, plus 125. So I'm going to put a unit on this. I was surprised this was plus money. I really didn't expect it to be, or just even money at like the best. But plus 125 is really good odds for this. He's going against Vasquez, who in his career is 3 of 6 with 2 doubles and a home run. So again, it's a very small sample, but in that small sample, he's batting 500 against him. So clearly he sees him pretty well, at least one of his pitches. And then Ozuna also has a hit in both games so far this year, so he is seeing it a little bit. He hasn't really gotten going, though, so this could be a good spot for him to kind of wake up and get the bat going even better than he's been doing so far. The next one that I'm going to do, Phillies and Nationals, first 5 over 4.5 runs. This is minus 120, so I have 1.2 units on this one. I was going to go Phillies money line, but the odds on this over are better. And even though I do think the Phillies are going to win, the Nationals are probably going to score some runs too against Luzardo. I just don't trust Luzardo at all. So you kind of get the benefit of the Phillies scoring, which they're going to have to do to win, obviously. But with the first 5 over, you also get the added benefit of the Nationals kind of helping out and scoring some runs. So that's why I took the first 5 over instead of the money line. If you feel more comfortable about the money line, I don't hate that either. But yeah, like I said, Luzardo going for the Phillies, I just don't really trust him. That's pretty much it on that side. The Nationals haven't really hit him very well, but they haven't really seen much of him, so you can't really say much there. Irvin is going for the Nationals, and I don't trust him at all either. But on top of that, the Phillies tend to hit him pretty well. I think they have 6 or 7 guys batting over 300 against him and a couple in like the 5s and 6s. So neither one of these pitchers, I think, are going to go out there and just crush it. I know I said this about Mackenzie Gore last time, and then he went out and struck out like 13 guys. I don't see that happening in this game. I don't see either one of these guys going out and striking 8, 10, 12 guys. I think they're going to get hits early. I think runs are going to be scored early, and we see the bullpen probably before the 5th inning with at least one of these teams. Next one is Jordan Alvarez, 2+ bases. That's even money, so I'm putting a unit on that one. Another spot where I was really surprised Jordan was even money here. I thought it would be like minus 110 or even minus 120. So even money is a great spot here. I also think it's just a great spot for Jordan in general. He hasn't gotten a hit this year, but he has walked 3 times, which if you're betting Jordan regularly sucks because, 3 walks and 8 at bats is not good. But I really think he's going to have a great chance today. Griffin Canning is pitching for the Mets, and I just don't think he's all that good. On top of that, Jordan is 7 for 13 in his career against Canning, and he's hit 2 home runs and a double off of him. So I think as long as he isn't walked a bunch today, which granted is possible, but I see him getting minimum 4 at bats, I think he should have a great chance of getting 2+ bases here. And obviously I'm going to be on his home run too, which again, you'll see in a little bit. The next one is a Max Muncy and Shohei Ohtani hit parlay. That's plus 115 for 1 unit. Max Muncy to get a hit, Shohei Ohtani to get a hit. Ohtani hasn't really seen much of Olsen, who is pitching for the Tigers today, in his career, but I just feel like you have to have money in some facet on Ohtani pretty much every game. So this is a way to get some money on him. And then the reason I'm pairing him up with Max Muncy is he's hit Olsen pretty well in his career, although it's a very small sample size. He's 2 for 2 with a home run against him. So, very small sample size, but I do think this is a good spot for him to get a hit. And maybe it's a home run too. I don't know, but really like that little smart parlay. And then I have 2 more little smart parlays as well. And then we will get into the home run stuff, which I know is probably why half the people watch me. So the next one is a 2-leg money line parlay. It's plus 123. So I'm throwing a unit on this one as well. It is Rays money line and Dodgers money line. Dodgers money line, obviously, they're pitching Sasaki and they're going against Olsen. I think the pitching matchup is there, and I don't think you can go against this Dodgers lineup when they have the better pitcher on the mound. So it's going to be hard to bet against the Dodgers really at all, to be honest. I mean, no, they're not going to go 162-0. I understand that. But at the same time, they're going to win a ton of games. So while I don't see them sweeping every single series, I think this is probably one that they sweep. They should have lost yesterday. That should have been the loss. And then the last parlay that I have is a 2-leg hit parlay, plus 105, so 1 unit on that one. Lawrence Butler to get a hit for the Athletics, and Julio Rodriguez to get a hit for the Mariners. Just a small parlay for a unit on that. I think they both have a really good shot at getting hits, though. And then into the important stuff, the home runs. So I'm going to do the smaller one first. That is the smaller of the two. 4-leg parlay. These are basically just my 4 favorite home run guys for the day. Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Yordan Alvarez, who I've talked about, and Marcell Ozuna, who I've talked about. Plus 23,301. Pretty good odds for a 4-leg. Obviously, it's not going to be like crazy odds like it potentially could be because you have Judge and Trout in there whose odds are just awful. And I typically wouldn't take odds that low for home runs, but I just really like both those spots today, so I feel like you have to. And then the lotto, which is those 4 guys, plus 4 other guys. And this is where you get the crazy odds. 19,054,931, which is crazy. Still keeping Aaron Judge, still keeping Mike Trout. You had Vladimir Guerrero. You had JT Realmuto, Jock Peterson, Max Muncy, who I talked about earlier. And then you keep Yordan and Marcell Ozuna. So these are my 8 favorites for the day. I also run this as a round robin and straights as well. That's where you're kind of going to get the money from, because obviously an 8-leg parlay is insane to hit. It's like going and buying a Powerball ticket at a gas station. So you don't want to just say, so that's why I round robin it. You can either do 2s or 3s, I would recommend, and then straights as well. And obviously you don't have to do straights on all 8 of them. Just do straights on like your favorite 4 or 5 or whatever you want to do. It's your money. Do whatever you want to do with it. But I do straights on all of them. I do half units on all of them. So yeah, that is it. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Very short episode, but hey, y'all might prefer that anyway. I don't know. Again, let me know in the comments or Twitter or wherever. Let me know, is this time slot better? Should I do it at night just without the odds? What do y'all prefer? Do you not care? Are you just going to watch it regardless? Are you not going to watch it anymore because you don't like it? Whatever. Let me know so I can kind of gauge how y'all are feeling, because, obviously that matters. Anyway, I will be back on probably tomorrow morning again to do Sunday slate. So hop on then. Make sure to like the video if you could. It helps me out a little bit. And obviously subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. That, obviously. Yeah? Cool. See y'all tomorrow.